G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke, get going. Right, today, our most important thing is to have some fun with a ton. Bloody beauty. Cheers. Oh, if you're wondering why I got black paint all over me, I've been doing some painting with the wife. Me and the wife painted the whole house, outside of the house, and let's just say I got a bit on myself, but that's alright. So I'll roll you the clips of the house now. I'll do a bit of a tour of the yard, keep you guys updated on that. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Fast forward, come back to this silver birch tree. From memory, I've already actually done the filming for that. From memory, it was about 16 minutes. So if you fast forward from now, 17 minutes into the video, you'll be pretty close to me working on this tree. Yeah. So anyway, so painted the house. I'll do a before and after shot when it was white to now. But yeah, we've been kicking goals this holidays. Needless to say, after 4 days of intensive painting, well, I'll roll it right now. Okay, good day guys. Well, this is the reason my hands are black, as I showed you in the shed, and my arms. And I know, I can hear the jokes now, you got more paint on yourself than you did on the house. But, here we go. So that's the house. Got to mow the lawn, it's getting a bit long, as you can see. Oh, get a bit long. Bloody beautiful though. You get this white sort of furry stuff on it after a while. After a day or so. So I'll be mowing every 2 days, but she's pretty nice to lay on, I tell you. Very nice to lay on. Anyway, I'm getting carried away with the lawn. Let's get to the house. So, I wanted to show you guys when it was all done. It's painted, but we haven't moved everything back under the deck, so it looks a bit messy. Also, here's our little succulent garden going along here. It's starting to fill in. Got some hoses running for water. It's a succulent garden. So there we go, we painted her black. Not everyone's cup of tea, but we reckon it looks pretty cool. So it's all painted through here now. This whole veranda area, all those posts, everything took bloody ages. A lot of effort. Me and the wife, we've been painting for 4 days straight. 3 of the days were 13-hour days. Today is the 4th day straight, and luckily it only went till just after lunch and we are done. We've still got to move the couches back here, put the Barbie back in, a couple of Barbies. We're going to move that ugly freezer out the back. We ran out of room inside for it, but we're going to move it out the back. But yeah, it looks pretty sweet. The lawn, the garden. I'll take you for a bit more of a tour. We've still got to paint the outside of the carport. But not everything can be done in a day. And plus, I'm a bit slack, get on the old beer and I paint pretty slow. So, 4 days painting. Me and the missus, so she did a very, very good job. Very impressed with her efforts. She just hung in there and kept on painting. So now our black LED lights for the bonsai area really suit the house well. Oh, while I'm here, let's have an update on this box thorn. Look at the new shoots on that. Do you remember the one? That's the one I pulled out with the ute. I got this on to keep it stable in the pot so that it doesn't tear any new roots off. So I pulled it out with the ute. There was a rip here, but right next to the rip, it's a new shoot. And she's going great guns. She's just flogging it. Look at that. So that's going to make an awesome bonsai in time. Also I'm going to work on this red gum very soon. It needs a cut, maybe today, see how we go. And also this is the Blue Atlas cedar. Look at the bloody growth on that. She's gone bloody mad. Settle down there, girl. Hey, you give yourself a hernia working like that. Oh, also this ash tree, the buds are just swelling up. She's going to go soon, so that's pretty cool. I've still got to defoliate this one. I won't get too carried away in the plant area because that's not what we're doing. Also got some wood planks here painted up. I just got to use some brackets, put them together, and that's going to be a veggie garden for the kids. I put some of their veggies that they grew, or whatever they call it, fruit. I put some of them in the garden bed already to grow, but making a veggie garden there as well. What else is happening? The apples getting bigger. Look at that, bloody beauty. 1, 2, 3 apples. Any more? 4 apples. She got 4 apples on her, so that's alright. Better than a bloody kick in the guts. So yeah, so that's the house all painted. We're going to paint the tanks as well, but that's going to be a dark grey, not a black. Alright, so there will be some wind noise because the wind's just coming in. Back lawn's all dead. Can't keep the water up to it. Our water supply is pretty crappy and I've got to save water for the bonsais, so haven't been able to keep water up to that. So here's the back of the house, all painted. Tell you what, this was massive effort. This is the what we call the, well, it was a guitar studio, a music room, but it's sort of our outdoor lounge, and we've painted that now as well. We've still got to paint the door frame, but we'll do that at a later date because we're sort of a bit over it after 4 days of hard yakka. Okay, so that's that. Sorry if I'm shaking around, I need one of those selfie sticks. Keep it all smooth. So the dog's kennel looks pretty ugly there, but it serves its purpose. And it's out the back. Now here's our sort of the back of the laundry. It's all been painted now. We had a nest of birds up there which have all moved out, so they've stopped pooing everywhere. And this is our little chill out area. It'll be a great smoking area, but me and the missus don't smoke, so I guess we could call it a beer garden or something like that. We've got our fairy lights up the top there. This is our little, I guess, beer garden. We can sit back, relax, chat about our day, having a beer. Bloody beauty. Right, let's keep moving around. So there's the side of the house there. Yeah, so not everything's finished off at the moment, but it's pretty close. Nearly all the painting's done. Black. Oh, I'll just, while we're at it, let's do a little tour of the garden. But oh, also this here is another job I've been doing. Had to dig a heap of rock out here, flatten this off. Still got to keep flattening it and then put some sand down because the kids are going to have a little swimming pool in here. I think 5 metre swimming pool. It's going to go here. So I've done a bit of a rock wall. Not quite finished yet, but got interrupted with all the painting. So that's me little rock wall, retainer wall. I've got to backfill it and put some more rocks in the back and flatten the top a bit, but it's getting there. But anyway, so here's the garden bed. So the garden bed's, you know, coming along. Got all sorts of plants. I'm not going to go through them all. There's a Jap maple. There's a new, that's my wife Carly's Christmas present, is an apricot tree. Seems to have settled in pretty well. I'll water it again tonight. The kids' apple tree from seed. It's some other bits and pieces. Here's a peach tree for a Christmas present as well, Alberta. The apricot was a moor park. This is our big garden bed, some ground cover, all sorts of plants. So we've got to wait for the garden bed to fill in, but it is happening, you know. We've got all sorts of stuff, some banksia, something else, heap of aeromophila, some other stuff, protea, king protea growing in there. We've got that like that to keep it from the rabbits, because special plant. The rabbits go nuts in here. Lots of rabbits and more rabbits. So yeah, leucadendrums here, sheep trough there. The sheep still come down there to drink, so you know, got to keep filling that up. She's full at the moment, so that's good. But yeah, they got that little path down here. Aeromophila, leucadendrum, growing really good. If you look at the new growth on that, it's just sweet. I'll get you out of the sun. Look at that. Man, the thing is healthy. Alright, we'll keep going. Here's another leucadendrum, different type. This could be the Safari Sunset, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the tag, but they were babies when we put them in a year ago, and they're getting decent size now. Even this sage, look at this sage coming out the top. It's gone nuts. The other sage. Once you can put a guard around it to keep the rabbits off, things go nuts. If you don't put a guard on, the rabbits bloody well dig them up. So here's some crepe myrtle, more that's a protea something or other. This here's meant to be a bird of paradise, pretty dismal. She's struggling, but she's alive. Grevillea, all sorts of stuff. This is a black boy or a grass tree. You have a look. When I planted this, it was an absolute baby about this big, and now look at it. It's probably nearly 2 foot high with a heap of grass. So that'll turn into a black boy in about 50 years. Some almonds. Look at this, guys. Look at these agapanthus, purple agapanthus. They're pretty sweet. All along the whole front fence. Last year we got one flower out of the whole lot. This year, now they're a bit more established, they have just gone absolutely bananas. Look at all the flowers. Look at that. And then, what else we got? Daisy bush down here. Like I say, I can't go through the whole lot. Some pretty flowers. But it's coming along, you know. You look up there now, you can see all these plants. Got the succulent garden, lawn, house. Oh, look at that for a photo. Bloody beauty. Apart from all the junk out the front, couches and shit. Okay, and then out the front, now we've planted, oh geez, I forget. They're a big weeping tree, and they look a bit like a willow, but they're actually an Australian native. Willow myrtle, that's it. Mainly because that tag bloody told me. There, see the tag? Agonis, willow myrtle. So we've planted 4 out the front here, so that they drape and cover the driveway in time, obviously 10-15 years time. Got all sorts of trees out the front here on the other side, so the other side of the road will have gums, this side will have the willow myrtles, then we'll have the garden, the lawn, the house. So it's coming along. If you guys can remember back to my first original video here, when we first moved in, we had the white house plonked in the middle of dirt, and there was nothing at all. So we are coming along. So, you know, I hope you can sort of see why I've been a bit slack on the bonsai videos. The wife's done most of this rock wall work, or pretty well all of it. She's done really well. She loves making her little rock walls. Yeah, we got sort of, you know, some proteas, a few geraniums, more proteas, leucadendrums, apple tree, some ground cover, some canna lilies. I'll show you the canna lilies. You know, I didn't think canna lilies would do too well out here in the pretty well desert, but you know what? It's going really well. It's got flowers all over it. There's a diamonds in the dark crepe myrtle, just starting to flower. Bloody beauty. There's the apple tree, something or other over there, some Eremophila, I forget, who knows. There's a lot of stuff in here. We've put hundreds of plants in, hundreds. Here's another, whatever you call it, I don't even remember. Bird of paradise, but this is the big one, the purple and white flower one, but we got it really small. And here's a struggling but alive persimmon tree, very small. The bird bath, some weed sort of thing around the bird bath, so it's pretty cool. Next to this bigger tree, which was already here, so that'll be really cool. Hope you guys aren't getting too bored with this tour. Lime tree, locust tree, more canna lilies. Look at these canna lilies. That's about to have another flower there. Got to watch out for snakes. I'm actually in the septic runoff for the house, so there will be some snakes in here, always is. So pretty cool. Also a fig there, another fig there, a lemon tree next to it. Struggled when we first put them in, had a massive frost, but as you can see it's got some nice purple flowers now. Another locust tree, they're going to do some weeding. Mulberry, look at the mulberry. It's got some mulberries on it. Very hard to see, but there's some in there. There is some in there, but not many. Okay, mulberry tree, crepe myrtle. I'm pretty sure that one's a pomegranate, crepe myrtle. One of them's a pomegranate, I think that one is. A butterfly bush, another massive, well not massive, massive for what we've got. Mulberry tree, and here you might be able to see this one a bit better. Mulberry, there's some mulberries on it. That's about 4 foot high already. I put that in as an air layer. I did these two. You can see it next to the car. It's decent size already, about 4 foot. Now this is the wife's Christmas present as well. Pear tree, this is a Packham pear. So these are all going to get another water tonight, and this one here is a Josephine pear. So anyway, and there's our little rock wall for a parking area. We've got a gravel. That's pretty much it. Garden bed, lawn, house. Beautiful. It's coming along. Thanks for watching. Cheers, and we'll get back to the shed. Okay, just another quick thing that happened. The old tank rusted out, so I had to go and buy a new one. Bloody $600 only for this 5,000 litre. Obviously I had to get it myself. 5,000 litre. Couldn't get any bigger in here because of the size of the area. But anyway, I've got a pump on there where I can pump it into my bigger tanks if I have to, the big cement ones, or that big one out there. So it's all good. But anyway, so it's a new tank as well. That's another thing we had to do. So the pressure pump's going along there, watering the some. Here's the leftover veggies for the kids. That's got to go in their veggie garden. Got this all hooked up. Runs to a fire pump there, which is what I can end up pumping this out with if it fills up. Cool, back to the shed. So yeah, needless to say, after 4 days of intensive painting, I'm ready to do some bonsai and have a few beers, because I'm legit stuffed, worn out, up and down that ladder. The top of the eaves must be, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but they'd be at least 12, maybe 14 foot high. And I've got to get around on this little baby ladder and try and climb up there, step on the top step. Unfortunately, it's the only ladder I've got, and I've got to step on the top step and balance. Luckily, I never fell off. There was one time when a good gust of wind hit, and I was already up on my tiptoes on top of the top rung, and I was going, and I was looking for a spot to land, and luckily the wind backed off, and I got back on my feet. Whew, lucky. Anyway, back to the tree. So what we're going to be doing with this silver birch today is, generally in the past with a silver birch, all I do is chop it back to that short internode length. Like I've said in the past, the amount of internodes doesn't matter. Just make sure that it's a fairly short length for ramification or for divisions in the branches. And if you've got a tree that has really long internode length, you might go back to one. If you've got a super short internode length like the almond tree I did last, where I had, I'm not joking, up to 8 internodes in only about 1.5 inches, then you don't need to, then you can leave 2 or 3. But another thing I'm going to do is, normally what happens with this silver birch is I cut it back like that, and then it's pretty good at budding back out. Whereas some of my trees like the almond and the ash trees, if you cut them back like this, they don't actually branch back out unless you defoliate them. So I think I showed you in that tour what the ash tree is looking like. The almond tree is also starting to move, all the buds are pushing. So I'm getting a second lot of growth. So I do highly recommend to defoliate the almond tree. Stops it from being lazy, makes it push out a new lot of shoots for the year. So you get 2 lots of shoots for the year instead of 1. But anyway, having said all that, what my plan will be is to cut back all these branches to where I need them, and then I'm going to defoliate this tree. Generally this tree does shoot pretty well, but you do get a little bit of, just a tiny bit of unevenness in the branches that come out. So your strong buds will shoot and the weak ones will sit dormant until next year quite often, or sometimes even die back. But to be honest, I don't get a lot of dieback on this tree. This tree is pretty good. But what we're going to do today is actually do the whole tree defoliated and just see how it all shoots back. Just a bit of an experiment. As you can see, super healthy. Look at these shoots. Super healthy. This one shoot here is that long. That's just one shoot. There's plenty more like it. On the top I cut the big strong ones right off and just opt to keep the weak ones. On the bottom I'll keep the stronger shoots and get rid of the weak ones. And that way it balances the tree out more because it's apically dominant. So you normally get stronger growth at the top, weak at the bottom. So to balance that out, keep your fatter shoots at the bottom. Get rid of your thinner ones if there's 3 in one location. If there's only 2, you don't have much choice, just cut it back to 1 internode or whatever, you know, or a short stub anyway. But that goes a long way to balancing out the tree with its growth. So you keep the strong ones at the bottom, the weak shoots at the top, and that sort of balances it out a lot. So I think what I'll do, all I'm doing is cutting them back to a short length where I'm cutting them back of new growth, so that it divides without too many straight bits. And on this tree, it's around about on the second internode. Second internode length is still pretty good, pretty handy to keep. And then it starts to get pretty long between internodes. That's about the fourth internode there. You can see it's pretty long. So I'm keeping about the second one. So I'm going to go through the whole tree on hyperlapse, do that, cut back. Well, I've actually found this tree, like I say, you always got different methods for different trees depending on how they feel. But this silver birch seems really simple just to pull the leaves off. You can look at this. You can actually just defoliate the whole tree like this without causing any trouble. They're actually pulling off pretty easily. You can just strip away. If you wanted to, you could do that over the whole thing. And they're actually stripping really easily without doing any damage to any of the new buds. But obviously I've got to also cut back the branches as well. So as you can see, that's defoliated a fair bit, no time at all. Giving me a bit of a leaf shower. But let's go into hyperlapse. Man, this tree weighs a ton. Oh Jesus, it's a ton. Yeah. The old ton beer. Right now, I'll just show you how much I've cut off this tree. It's so healthy. An extremely healthy tree. And it will survive this, no worries at all. So that's how much got cut off, and it'll reshoot fine, and it's got a lot of time to grow, like it's only, you know, almost New Year, and it's going to have at least 3 months more to grow out new branches, and literally they'll only take 2 to 3 weeks, and it'll be full of leaves again in 2 or 3 weeks. It's just extremely vigorous, and I wouldn't recommend defoliating a tree unless you know that it's a strong, vigorous tree. And also too, like, our summers here in Australia are so long that we get to basically push it twice in the 1 year, which is, you know, done by defoliating. And it's just, yeah, really helpful to be able to do that and get a second lot of growth is really good, because it basically gives you 2 years in one. If you can double your growth in 1 year, that's awesome. Because if I wasn't to do that just then, all that would happen is some of those branches would get extremely super long and just get too fat for the tree and look too coarse on the outside. A bit like this one out here. Thinking about cutting it back, but then I'm thinking about doing like a second sort of apex up the top here. I'm not sure. See how we go with that one. Doesn't matter. I know the outside silhouette would suggest to chop it off, but maybe another clump bush out here wouldn't be too bad. But anyway, I've left it for now. But yeah, we're really lucky here in Australia to get 2 flushes of growth. The only thing we've got to do is keep the water up to them, And I've actually got this one in semi-shade now because it does actually burn in the summer heat. So it's in shade half a day, some fairly heavy shade, and it just goes great guns. So if you're in an area that's only got, say, 4 months of summer and 8 months of winter, you may not be able to do this, but certainly in Australia, you can push them hard, defoliate them, make them grow again, and get twice the growth in 1 year, twice the usable growth, I should say, and be able to keep everything. So yeah, pretty cool way of doing it. And I may even have to give this another trim in 2 months' time, just to trim the long ones back, just to even up the balance of the tree. And it'll be interesting to balance the tree now that I've defoliated absolutely everything. So it's going to be interesting to watch it over the next couple of weeks. But anyway, I'll give you a spin on the way out of this tree. Cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your mates about the channel. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the place, and if you fast forwarded to the tree, that's fine, that's up to you. But yeah, thanks for watching, really appreciate all the support from everyone, means a lot. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't get support from people, so thanks very much. Cheers, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, guys. I may do another video after this one in the same day, in the same painted shirt. The reason there's so much paint here is because it's holding a paint tray on the ladder and then brushing, and it kept getting all over my guts. Even though my guts are smaller, it's still got in the bloody way. No worries, cheers, spin on the way out. Thank you very much for your support, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.